Hi guys, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. You should be wrapping up dinner by now. You should be all done. Yeah, you should be getting really close to dinner. Should be almost over.
One face centered.
Oh yeah.
Selfie zoom. Face centered. Speech off.
Y'all know how I do. Forget about voiceover every time. But anyway, so I hope dinner was amazing. I hope you had some splendid company. It's really important the company that you keep is a reflection of yourself, where you are now, where you're going, or where your future self will be. That should be your circle, you all. And you should break bread with family and friends and peers that have the same faith system that you have. You should be equally yoked in all your relationships, okay? And don't take that lightly. Everyone does not deserve you. Everyone does not deserve access to you. Everyone does not deserve your intimacy. They do not deserve your companionship, your gifts, your talents. Everyone is not for you, and you are not for everyone. Okay? So that's that. And I want to make sure that everyone is having a wonderful evening. Now, this video is going to be dedicated to dads. So if you're interested in finding out some wonderful ways to bless your father this Father's Day, keep watching. I have been extremely blessed to have grandfathers. You love how that works? Let's do this. All right. I have been able to have grandfathers. I have been able to have several fathers, stepfathers, biological father, and uncles. And I have a plethora, a collection of valuable moments and memories with each and every one of them, down to cousins that were like uncles. And, I've always been blessed to have a great circle of men in my life from birth throughout, my early teenage years into my college years. I always had some positive male figures in my life, which really kept me whole. I have a lot of positive moments from men, and I'm thankful that I was never abused. I was never sexually abused. I was never like molested as a child. I was never raped. Hallelujah, right? I don't have trauma related to my childhood, related to men. I have a lot of consistency in my childhood. Me and my father, we prayed together. He made it a point to say prayers with me every single night. We went to church together. We sang in the choir together, go to Bible study together. My dad, I'm his princess, right? My dad would take me, we would go out to eat after church together, even if it was just me and him. Especially when my mom had my brother, she had to be home, doing the baby thing, and me and my dad, we will go to church. We would go to Eileen's coffee shop in San Diego and have the shrimp fried rice. Look, those were the days. Remember, ignorance is bliss. I had no idea back then those delicious little baby shrimp was like no good, right? But it was so good with the peas and the carrots and the onions, and those were good times. I always had my grandparents and my grandfathers, and when I went to church, I saw my grandparents. My great grandparents were deacons at my church, and my granddad, I would stand in the hallway and listen for his keys. He had so many keys and this long stretching thing. He could stretch his keys out and keep it connected to his belt loop. And he give me, we had a Coke machine in the church, and I go get my 50 cents and run up to the machine and go. That was big business, and get me. I heard the ice cream truck. I could run up to my granddad, and he'd give me money to get my ice cream cone, my big stick, my Flintstone push up. Remember push up, the sherbet ice cream push up pops and all this foolish. I mean, I have great times with men in my family, grandpas included. I remember I had wanted this bike. It was a white and pink bike. And it was my first bike without training wheels. It had the banana seat and everything. It had the little basket on the front. And it had rims, okay? It had pink rims. It's plastic rims that covered the spokes and everything. And I wanted this bike. It was at Toys R Us. And it had a purple bar on it. So it was like pink, white, and purple. I don't know if you guys remember Gym, but it was kind of like gym colors. And anyway, I think the bike was either 79 or $99, and I showed it to my mom and everything because my mom likes to take us to Toys R Us, and we would be looking at stuff we wanted and everything. And I showed it to my dad, and they're like, "Well, you save your money up, we'll help you get it." And I'm like, "Okay, so I'll get my allowance every week to keep my room clean and help around the house and everything." And so I'm saving my money, and we're going up there and checking to make sure it's still there. And anyway, my grandpa calls my dad one weekend like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the park. They're having like this big, I think a church was throwing this big activity." And so it was like all these different things you could do. And so he said, "I'm come get, baby girl." So he came and got me, and what did we do? We went on in his motorhome. My grandpa always had a motorhome, and I got in his motorhome, and we drove down to the park and got out, and I got in a race. So what you had to do in this race, you had to have one leg tied around your partner's leg, okay? And then you all had to balance a plastic spoon in your mouth with a boiled egg at the end of it. Or maybe it was a raw egg, but it was an egg at the end of the spoon. So sitting in that little part that normally goes in your mouth, you had to keep that spoon in your mouth while having your leg tied to your partner, and y'all had to race to see who was going to get across that line first. And me and my partner got across that line first. And guess what my prize was? A Toys R Us gift certificate. Oh my gosh. And it was just enough the money that I needed to get my bike. So I'm screaming, I'm all happy. Oh my God. And I go tell my grandpa, and he takes me home, and I run in the house. I'm like, "Guess what happened?" And I give and I give my parents my gift card. They're like, "Okay, we going to Toys R Us and we get my bike." Now I could tell you guys story after story after story of things like that went on in my life with my dads and my grandpas and my uncles, just being like knights in shining armor and just blessing me all the time and sharing with me and gifting with me and investing in me and believing in me and being there, right? And just being phenomenal men. Like I could call my dad. I don't care if I was at gymnastics or what. I call my dad, "Daddy, come get me." And he was on the way. Okay. My dad was my hero. He was everything, right? I remember before that bike, it's always a bike I wanted. I wanted the red and black bike with the red training wheels. I remember this bike. It was at Toys R Us again. And my parents had me convinced we were not getting anything for Christmas that year. They said Christmas was about service, and, we were going to give everything away. Oh my God. I was like, world shattered. Like, what? No, Sure enough, everything was under that tree. It was my birthday. I wanted that bike. I didn't think I was getting it. My friends were over, and you could tell when I didn't like something because I'd be having like tears in my eyes and I'd be pouting. I mean, it's all over my face, but I'd be trying to pretend. I'm like, it's okay. No, I'm happy. I'm thankful. You know, my parents were really big about being appreciative, thankful, and grateful, right? And it's like, no, I'm okay. You know, dying inside. And then my dad pulled me to the side during my party, and my mom had made me like two cakes. She'd made this yellow cake with chocolate icing and put M&Ms all over it, and we had made the cakes together. And then she made me this white and pink cake with the pink and white letters that said happy birthday and my name and everything. It was great. And so I'm still looking like somebody stole my lollipop or whatever. So my dad pulls me to the side like, hey, I want to talk to you. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get in trouble. He's like, come outside with me real quick. I'm like, okay. So I'm following him down the stairs, go outside by the truck and everything. And he's like, I want you to stand right there. And I'm like, okay. And he comes around the corner and my bicycle. I am screaming to the top. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. But these are just moments where you never forget. I mean, I had to been 4 or 5, and I remember that like it was yesterday. When I got my bike without my training wheels, I had to been like 8, 9 or something. And I remember that like it was yesterday. It's so many different memories. I remember when I was driving. I got my car finally. Every day I'd be rushing to school. I'd be late. I would forget to turn the lights off on my car. And every time at the end of the day at school, the battery would be dead. I have to call my granddad, like, Granddaddy, on my car. And he would come down the street and give me a jump and let me know if you need anything, baby. I mean, I always felt the comfort and the security and the backing of my family, the men in my life. I mean, they handled it. They covered me and they always made me feel valuable, and they always gave me a standard, an expectation. So I just always understood that. I always knew, black men are great men. They're great people. They're family people. They have hearts. They care. That's my experience. That's what I know. They're hardworking. They're loving. They're genuine. They can be counted on. you know they're reliable. They're not screw ups. They're not criminals. The men in my family are not criminals. That was not my experience, right? No, even though you hear bad things about people in general, that was not my life experience, right? So then, going on into my life, even though we make our decisions, we make our mistakes and everything like that, and we're learning, right? We're growing and we're learning as individuals. But one thing I would like to say as a young lady is that the men in my life mattered. And the woman that I am today is a reflection of the investment the collection of those men put into me. The priority they made me, the sacrifices that they made for me, the things they were willing to do and be for me, the consistency, what they represented and stood for, the God in them. I have to cherish that. I have to praise God and thank God for that. Men are extremely valuable. Men are so valuable to a young lady's life. You all set the standard for what this women believe about themselves. And really and truly, we never stop being that little girl, that little princess. We never do. Even with your husband, your fiance, your significant other, you are still that princess. And I feel like I watch these videos and I watch, different things, and I hear, different people crying out for this and that, and really just going through it. Oh, he did this, oh, they did that, oh, I have never had this, oh, la la la. And I said to myself, wow, if you could scale it back. Well, first of all, if you're unequally yoked, there's nothing that can be done but to break up and move on. So stop trying to make mess into a masterpiece. It's mess, right? But if you are with someone that you admire, that you respect, if you are with someone that's in a position of masculinity and manhood and in dominion over himself, if you are with someone who is providing and protecting and honoring his word, and investing in you and your family and being committed and exuding and providing the experience of the fruits of the spirit with you, that is faithful and peaceful and loving and joyful and kind and gentle and practicing self-control and exercising a sound mind. If you are going through those things, a man who's willing to love you unconditionally, who's long suffering, who activates all the senses, all of your senses, if you are in that position, scale it back. You want to know what's wrong? Start counting up what's right. Scale it back. Be your man's princess. Talk to him in words that he can feel. Not, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't, what you ain't going, blah, blah, blah." No, all that stuff like that, that's not going to get you what you want. What's going to get you what you want is when you can touch him, touch his soul, be his love, the thing he loves, the one he loves. Be that energy that he could never get enough of. Do you see what I'm saying? Be sweet. If you've had fathers, then you know how to be sweet and how to be um, humble and how to be adoring and how to be adored. You know what your dad like you to do, what he don't like. You know how to get your dad to be on your side and not. You know how to get your dad to do this or that for you. You know what works and what doesn't work, right? All right. So, with that being said, there are so many women who have not had fathers, who have not been blessed to have those positive interactions and those memories and those moments that carry you through the bad stuff, that carry you through this moment with someone that is like, oh no, this guy is lost. But that's okay, right? You don't have to feel like, oh, what's the point? All these guys, it's nothing out here, whatever. This is a lost cause. These guys, this and that. No, you don't have to feel that way, because if that's not what you want, see, we have to stop going with what the status quo is or what's being fed to us, and we have to start riding for what we want. Yeah, you have to. Everyone that has met a measure of success, of agreeable success, everyone can agree that if you're averaging $500,000 a year and you've been averaging that for the last 10 years, you're successful. If you are a multimillionaire, you're successful. If you're a multi-billionaire, you're successful. All of us can agree on certain measures of success, right? So, with that being said, you have to understand that the people who have sustained those measures of success, they were committed to achieving, not committed to believing that they can't, and that, oh, most of these 93% of people don't make that money, so I'm probably not going to make it neither. People that drive and live high-end, high-level lifestyles, they're committed to believing that that is where they belong. They're committed to imagining themselves in those positions, and they are committed to thinking of themselves in no other way. They are focused. They can't even they can't even fathom, nor can they speak to people who even possibly entertain the idea of dwelling less than a certain category. They don't care where they came from. They don't care what their mom did, their dad did. They know, oh no, I'm going to be a millionaire now. I drive this. I live like this. I eat like that. And it sucks for you, I guess, because I can't. It's impossible. I'm going down. I'll die for my lifestyle. I'll die for what I believe. So it's the same thing with men, it's the same thing with women. And I was talking to a gentleman last night, and he had told me how he was baffled by why a 7 year relationship didn't come full circle. And it all ended because the young lady gave him an ultimatum. She said, "Hey, we've been together for 7 years. What are we doing? You need to marry me or I have to move on." And he said, "Well, I guess this is the end of the road for us." He said, "But had she fought for it, he would have given it to her. But when he said, 'I guess this is the end,' she said, 'Oh, well, then F it,' and just rolled out with it." Literally. That's what she said. "Oh, well, then." And stuck in there for a little bit more time. And then he ended up ending the relationship anyway because he was so thoroughly turned off that she didn't fight for what she wanted. He wanted her to fight for him. He wanted her to demand some things and stand on that and be willing to walk away from him if he wasn't going to give it to her. That was going to turn him on. That was going to incite movement. But because she did not, he walked away. He walked away. But he's always been pondering, why did this girl not fight for our 7 years? Why did she not make us? Why did she not? Because she was more in the faith of, she believed more in the status quo, in the norm, in the fact that we're in Atlanta, Georgia. If you get you a heterosexual male that doesn't cheat on you, you need to take whatever deal he offers you. Yeah, that's why. But let's get back on track. And so, what I'm saying to you all in this video is that dads are amazing. They're important. They make a difference. They are our stability. They give us courage to be fearless. They give us wings to fly. They do. They always have. They're the ones that get out there and do their thing so that you can have comfort and confidence, so that you can have security and safety, and so that you can know that you always have a home to come back to if anything's wrong. Daddy's always there. Dad want to make sure you got gas money and your car runs good and you're looking good and you're smelling good. He want to make sure that you're safe and you're good. Baby, you good? You have everything you need? You just call Daddy. Let me know when whatever you need. Just let me know. Baby, you good? So let's check on Dad this Father's Day and make sure he's good. Now let me tell y'all, I just did a video on what moms do not want. And I did a video, and at the end of that video, I talked about things they do want. Now let me tell you what dads don't want. They don't want to be overlooked this year. They don't want to be disregarded. They don't want to be taken for granted this year. Dad doesn't want any more wallets. He doesn't want any more ties, cufflinks, coffee mugs. Dad doesn't want any more meaningless hats. He doesn't need a t-shirt, a button down. Dad doesn't need any of those things. You know what Dad wants? Dad wants that bricked in grill he's been talking about for the longest. That bricked in grill. Dad wants y'all to come together and find somebody to come over there and put together this bricked in grill. The stainless steel grill. He wants those beautiful coral colored bricks. And he wants that stainless steel plate where he can put his tray of food on one side and the food he needs to cook on one side, and then the food that's cooked on the other side. And he wants that nice little sink where he can rinse off his utensils while he's grilling. And then he'll love to have like a little TV out there or a radio so he can listen to the game. And then he wants his nice little chair, his patio chair or his rocking chair, some type of plush nice chair out there with a nice little little patio umbrella or a table with the umbrella right there where he can sit out and look over his yard or the pool or the lake or whatever it is y'all got going on at your house and watch his food and enjoy. That's what Dad wants this year for Father's Day. He wants his grill and all the bells and whistles that go with it. You know what else Dad wants this year? Dad wants you to return all of his stuff in excellent condition. Yeah. So if you've been borrowing his truck for the longest, he wants you out of his truck. He wants his truck back. But he wants it in excellent condition. He wants it detailed. He wants it washed. He wants a new paint job if some of the paint is missing. Dad wants to be appreciated. He does not want to be taken for granted. He wants to be cherished this year. If your dad loves fishing, he wants a boat. Yep. Or he wants a nice fishing trip. You want to get your dad a gift? Give him a vacation at the log cabin, at the lake, which includes all the cost of his fishing experience. So if he's gonna get out there on the boat, it includes the boat, includes the bait, the fishing rod, the cost to clean the fish, all of that, whatever comes with it. Dad wants a nice trip to go fishing. Yep, Dad wants it. Dad wants to be cherished this year, guys. He doesn't want your raggedy gifts. He doesn't want your card and your homemade video. No. It's cool if you're giving him this together. You get him a card, you put a gift card in there, you put some cash in there, you make the video, Dad, this is why we love you, and all of that like that, and then boom, here you go, here's your bricked in grill. Dad, let's take you outside and we want to show you something. Boom, there's your grill, like that. Or, Dad, I know I've been borrowing your truck for this long. Boom, brand new truck, painted, everything, bomb. Ooh, yes. That's how you do that. You put the card, the cash in the card, the gift cards in the card. Then you go ahead, you get the video popping. Ooh, yes. You got the meal, the food cooking. Yes, you got the grill out there, or you got his fishing trip lined up. You got his boat out there. Like, bring it. Bring it. Because Dad been busting his butt all your life. Dad been up before you even woke up. He been gone 3 hours working by the time you finally got up. Then you get home before him and he come home after you and he gonna check on everybody, make sure everybody good, take y'all out to eat, spend time with you, listen to this, listen to that, find out who he need to regulate for what reason, show up to this, show up to that. That is handling life for you every single day. Whether you have a good attitude, a bad attitude, whether you cut up in school or not, whether you dropped out of college or not, whether you got pregnant or not, whether you lost your job again or not, Dad has been holding you down, been uplifting you in prayer, believing the best in you. He been disciplining you. He been hanging tough with you. Dad has been providing unconditional love and support for a very long time. And this year, we are going to honor dads and bless them. From the heart, we're going to figure it out and we're going to get it done. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get the house painted like he been wanting to do, or the roof done, or we're going to do the whole yard, mulch everything, plant the different, whatever, his fruit trees, prune the trees, do the bushes, trim the trees. We're going to get it done, and we're going to enjoy getting it done. Yeah. Whatever your dad loves, Do it. Be all about it. Cherish it. No day nor hour is promised. It's not. Love your dads. They are important. They matter. They make a difference. They're in your life. Be thankful. Be thankful. Because you never know when that can change, when that can stop, when it's over. You don't know. There's some people that have been blessed, they got to have their dad for every last moment until that person transitioned home with the father. There are some people that got to have their dad for the first 10, 12 years of their lives, and they haven't got to have him anymore. And it could be 25 and 28 and 29 years later, and all they got those 12 years, and they had to hold on to that. There are some people who lost their dad when they were 6, and they got to have their dad for 6 years, and that's all. There are some people, they only got to have their dad for a year. They don't even remember. They have no idea what it's like to have a dad. You never know. For all you fathers that are in the military, I salute you. I praise God for you. And I keep you uplifted in prayer that you return home safely to your families in your right mind, in your right spirit, and that this country and every country that you represent cherishes you and honors you and services you and provides you with adequate medical, dental, vision, life insurance benefits, VA, homeowner benefits, and compensates you well for the rest of your life. I salute you. I appreciate you. I value you. I thank you for your service, for your willingness to do what you do. I appreciate that. If you have a parent that's in the military, God bless you. And just know that it is not easy. It is not an easy thing to do. It's something that I don't want to do. Most don't want to do, don't want to be in that position, right? But we have to spend time honoring and cherishing men. We have to spend time identifying and acknowledging there is good here, there is value here. This matters. This makes a difference in my world, in my life, in my spirit, in my energy. We have to admit men matter. We would not be here without a man. Not gonna happen. You're not getting on the planet. You're not coming from a woman's womb. You will not be birthed here without a man. That's just the real. Now, some people will disagree and they will say, that God is not a man. And why do we refer to God as a masculine entity, a masculine spirit? This is what I know. None of us will be on the planet. The human race will not exist without God. I recognize God as a male force, the ultimate force. So, with that being said, let's get on our jobs, ladies and gentlemen. We already know what it is. Next Sunday is Mother's Day. In June, we have Father's Day. And I really wanted to put this video out early because I really feel like you need time. You probably need to watch this video quite a few times. You need to share this video. You need to like, comment, subscribe. I probably need to do a part 2 to this video so that you can really get it right this year. Every single minute matters. If we learn nothing from last year, we should understand that this life is not our own. We are not in control. The Most High God is in control. His ways are not our ways. His timeline is not our timeline. And every moment is precious. So give them their roses and their fishing trips while you can and be thankful for every moment. All right, guys, as usual, do not forget to be a blessing today, tonight. You should be thoroughly wrapping up dinner. We do not eat after 9 p.m., ladies and gents, for any reason whatsoever. So go on and get that warm tea started with the honey, not the sugar, in the state that you live. So if you're in Georgia, you should have some of this delicious omega honey or whatever honey that's coming out the state of Georgia. Have that nice warm tea. You should be having a nice bath. You should be wrapping it up with a bow because you have to get your rest because we have things to do. We have to worship in the morning. We should have been worshiping this morning, honoring God, honoring ourselves. Tomorrow is the first day of the actual week. We have things to do. Yes, we do. Little busy honeybees. We have things to do. And I will see you in the next one.
Speech on. Face. Stop recording video.